There comes a time in every person's life when they look around at their circumstances and whisper to themselves, there has to be more than this, more than living paycheck to paycheck, more than just surviving, more than constantly worrying if the money will last till the end of the month. That whisper is not just frustration, it is the voice of divine possibility calling you toward your rightful inheritance, financial freedom. Financial freedom is not a fantasy for the few. It is a birthright for the disciplined, the focused, the courageous. But like any worthy achievement, it does not come without a price. It demands more than dreams. It demands decisions, and then it demands actions aligned with those decisions, actions repeated with such faith and persistence that the universe is forced to respond in your favor. To achieve financial freedom, you must first change your relationship with money. You must stop seeing money as a master and begin seeing it as a servant. You must no longer chase money. It flees from desperation. Instead, attract it by becoming a person of value. Money flows to those who solve problems. It follows order. It respects discipline. It multiplies in the hands of those who respect its laws and disappears from those who misuse it. Wealth is never accidental. Poverty may be, but wealth is always deliberate. You must begin by declaring, with every fiber of your being, I will be free. Not someday, not maybe, but with certainty. You must set your mind to this aim with the intensity of a man trapped underwater who seeks one breath of air. When the goal is that serious, you will stop making excuses. You will stop waiting for motivation. You will move, and when you move, the first step must be education. Not always the education found in schools, but the education that comes from obsession. If you want financial freedom, you must learn about money, read about it, study it, understand how it flows. You cannot master what you do not study. Just as a musician must know their instrument, you must know the language and behavior of money. Learn about assets, learn about liabilities. Learn how money grows when it is put to work, and how it disappears when it is wasted on illusion and impulse. Then you must develop a vision so clear that you can feel it. You must see yourself free, not just rich free, free to choose how you spend your time, free to bless others, free to build, free to give, free to wake up every morning without fear of bills, debts, or financial chains. That vision must become so powerful that it overrides every temptation to spend on foolish things, every desire to impress others, and every lie that whispers, you can't. Financial freedom begins in the mind. It begins with thought. Every fortune started with one thought, bold, specific, and charged with belief. If you believe you are destined to struggle, you will. If you believe you are unworthy of abundance, you will sabotage every opportunity. But if you believe that freedom is your portion and you back that belief with unwavering effort, then even the gates of hell cannot stop you. Discipline is the bridge between thought and reality. Without discipline, desire is just noise. You must discipline your spending, discipline your time, discipline your associations. Who you spend time with will influence your financial future more than you realize. If you walk with the wise, you will become wise. If you associate with those who mock growth, who waste, who complain, you will find yourself stuck in the same financial quicks. And therein, surround yourself with builders, with readers, with investors, with those who talk more about opportunities than obstacles, those who are creating things, not just consuming them. You cannot fly with eagles if you're nesting with pigeons. Change your circle, and your trajectory will change. The next key to financial freedom is income expansion. You cannot save your way to wealth if your income is capped at survival. You must increase your value. Learn a skill that the marketplace rewards. Solve problems that people will pay you for. Money doesn't go to the one who works the hardest. It goes to the one who provides the most value. Study those who have multiplied their income through focus, strategy, and service. Follow their steps, model their mindset, and once you begin earning more, do not fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation. Just because you earn more does not mean you must spend more. Increase your income, but live below your means. Invest the difference. Let your money go to work so that one day you no longer have to. Invest not only in stocks or real estate, but in yourself. Your mind is your greatest asset. Your creativity, your ideas, your energy, these are the factories that produce fortune. When you become more, you earn more. You must commit to lifelong growth. The person who is satisfied with what they know will never rise beyond what they have. Beware of the destroyers of wealth, debt, distraction, and doubt. Debt steals your future, distraction steals your time, doubt steals your power. Eliminate them one by one. Pay down debt ruthlessly. Avoid consumer traps. Refuse to borrow for fleeting pleasure. If you must borrow, let it be to acquire something that will pay you back. Let your debt be productive, not destructive. Guard your focus like treasure. The more you focus, the faster you grow. The world is full of noise, but wealth comes to those who silence the world and zero in on their mission. And when doubt creeps in, and it will stand tall, remind yourself that every great fortune began with someone who was scared but acted anyway. You don't need perfect conditions. You need persistent commitment. Set targets, know your numbers, track every dollar, know where your money is going. If you do not tell your money where to go, you will always wonder where it went. Master budgeting not as a punishment, but as a plan. A budget is not a restriction. It is a roadmap to freedom. Without a plan, even the most ambitious wander in circles. Understand the power of compound interest, not just in money, but in effort. Small, consistent steps taken daily will outperform occasional bursts of effort every time. Save consistently, invest consistently, study consistently, build consistently, and over time you will look back and wonder how the impossible became inevitable. Give, even as you rise, give. It may seem counterintuitive, but giving unlocks abundance. When you give, you declare that money does not own you. You own it. Giving cultivates gratitude, and gratitude attracts more. The stingy repel wealth. The generous multiply it. Be wise, but be generous. It is the law of return. You reap what you sow. And remember, financial freedom is not about greed. It is about responsibility. It is about becoming the kind of person who can be trusted with wealth. Wealth without character destroys, but wealth with integrity transforms families, communities, even nations. Become that kind of person, the one who earns honestly, who gives freely, who builds legacy. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait until you're ready. Begin where you are, with what you have, learn, grow, act, fail forward, adjust, rise again. The clock is ticking, and your freedom is waiting. You were not born to be a slave to bills, to debt, to stress. You were born to be free, but freedom is never given. It is taken, taken by force of will, by clarity of purpose, by relentless effort. And if you will pay the price in discipline and decision, you will reap the reward in time, in peace, and in freedom. There is a path that leads from struggle to security, from fear to faith, from survival to surplus. It is not easy, but it is possible, and it begins the moment you decide, truly decide, that you will no longer live at the mercy of chance, but by the power of choice. That moment is now, and that choice is yours. There is a truth the financially free understand that the average person ignores. Money is energy. It flows. It follows attention. It responds to order. It amplifies whoever possesses it. If you are careless, it magnifies your chaos. If you are disciplined, it multiplies your structure. If you live with purpose, it becomes a tool of transformation. The financially free are not simply lucky. They are intentional. They understand that wealth, like health, is the result of daily habits, not occasional decisions. Most people believe that to become wealthy, they must earn millions in a single year. That is not the truth. Most wealth is built slowly, not quickly, and the people who understand this are not impatient. They are strategic. They make decisions that look boring to the undisciplined, but are revolutionary in their impact over time. While others chase the next quick fix or flashy scheme, they are quietly acquiring assets, automating investments, building businesses, and protecting their mindset. You must eliminate the lottery mentality, the idea that one day, somehow, someone will rescue you financially is one of the greatest lies ever sold. No one is coming. No amount of wishing, hoping, or waiting will replace the necessity of work. And not just work for work's sake, but intelligent work, guided by vision, measured by progress, and fueled by an unbreakable commitment to freedom. Many people ask, "Where do I begin?" You begin by taking inventory, not just of your finances, but of your life. What do you spend your time on? Who do you listen to? What do you believe about money? These questions matter. Because financial freedom is not just about how much you earn or how much you save. It's about what you believe you deserve. If you believe you are destined to be broke, your subconscious will sabotage your efforts until that belief becomes your reality. But if you believe you were born for more, and you reinforce that belief daily through study, affirmation, and action, your life will begin to rise to meet your new standard. You must write a new money story. You must look the old story in the face, the story of struggle, lack, fear, limitation, and say, "That ends with me." You must decide that the cycle breaks with your decisions, your habits, your mindset, that your children will not inherit scarcity, but strategy, that your legacy will not be one of barely making it, but of building something lasting. You must anchor that decision so deeply in your soul that nothing, no setback, no delay, no opinion, can shake it. There are principles to wealth, and once you understand them, you realize that success is not mysterious. It is mathematical. You must spend less than you earn. You must invest the rest. You must repeat this process over time, through seasons of ease and seasons of difficulty. You must stop playing defense and start playing offense. Most people try to save themselves into wealth. They cut every corner, deny themselves every pleasure, and still come up short. Not because saving isn't important, but because income is the fuel of wealth. A leaky faucet can be fixed, but if there's no water flowing in, you'll still run dry. So build something, start a business, sell a skill, monetize your expertise, create a digital product, learn sales. Learn copywriting, learn persuasion. The marketplace rewards those who create. You must become more than a consumer. You must become a producer. Every financially free person produces more value than they consume. That's the law. You cannot violate it and expect abundance. You must also master your emotions. The financially ignorant make emotional decisions with money, spending when they're bored, buying to impress others, investing without understanding, quitting when the market drops. You must rise above that. You must become emotionally neutral. When others panic, you stay the course. When others overspend, you hold the line. When others procrastinate, you build. When others chase fantasy, you double down on fundamentals. One of the most powerful actions you can take is building an emergency fund, not because it earns interest, but because it buys you peace. Peace is priceless. Peace allows you to think clearly, to take risks wisely, to build patiently. Without peace, every decision is reactive. With peace, every decision becomes proactive. Start with $1,000, then grow it to 3 months' expenses, then 6. When you no longer live under the constant threat of disaster, you walk with a new level of power. But do not confuse peace with complacency. Financial freedom is not found in passive existence. It is found in purposeful action. Every day you wake up and either move toward freedom or further into bondage. It's binary. Either your decisions compound toward independence, or they drag you deeper into dependence. There is no neutral, and as you climb, understand that wealth is not selfish. When you are free, you can bless others. You can hire, you can donate, you can build institutions, you can become a voice of change, but when you are broke, your ability to impact the world is limited. You can care, but you cannot contribute at scale. So do not shrink back from wealth. Pursue it with purpose. knowing that the more you earn, the more good you can do. Build multiple streams of income, never rely on one source. If a river dries up and it's your only source, you die of thirst. But if you've built several rivers, investments, businesses, royalties, rental income, you become anti-fragile. You can lose one stream and still thrive. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income. That is not a coincidence. It is strategy. Do not fear starting small. Every oak tree was once an acorn. Every empire began with one decision, one action, one risk. You will feel foolish at first. You will make mistakes. You will question yourself, but stay the course, build the habit, repeat the process. You do not have to be great to start, but you must start to be great. Automate your savings, automate your investments. Remove emotion from the equation. The less you have to think about it, the more consistent you'll be. Pay yourself first. Before you pay bills, before you buy luxuries. If you wait to save what's left over, you will always be empty. But if you save first and spend what remains, you'll always build. Master time. Time is the most valuable currency you have. Do not waste hours on things that do not move you forward. Social media, gossip, distractions. They are thieves. You cannot become financially free while behaving like someone who is enslaved to impulse. Use your mornings, own your evenings, fill your days with intention. Every moment is either an investment or an expense. Track your net worth monthly, not to impress anyone, but to measure progress. What gets measured gets managed. Watching your wealth grow, even slowly, is one of the most motivating habits you can adopt. It creates momentum, and momentum, once it begins, becomes unstoppable if you keep feeding it. Stay humble. Wealth has a way of making some arrogant, but true financial freedom is marked by humility. The wise know they can learn from anyone. The truly rich don't flaunt. They build. They don't need applause. They need impact. They remember the climb, and they reach back to lift others. Be that kind of person. Stay hungry. Comfort is a silent killer. Once you begin to taste success, the temptation is to ease off. But freedom is not a finish line. It is a lifestyle. The moment you stop growing, you begin declining. There is always another level, not out of greed, but out of purpose. Your comfort zone will become your cage if you stay in it too long. Keep reaching. Study money as if your life depends on it, because it does. Not because money is everything, but because the lack of it touches everything: your health, your relationships, your stress, your sleep, your opportunities. When you master money, you don't just gain cash, you gain control. Protect your mindset. Your beliefs are the thermostat of your financial life. If you believe you can only earn $50,000 a year, you will sabotage any opportunity to earn more. If you believe that people like you can't get rich, your subconscious will prove you right. You must raise your internal thermostat to set your financial identity. Begin declaring wealth as your standard. Speak abundance, visualize it, feel it, embody it, and don't merely try commit. Trying is a weak word. It gives you an exit. Commit with the full force of your being. Burn the ships. Decide that financial freedom is not a preference. It is a non-negotiable. That decision will eliminate 99% of your distractions. When freedom is the only option, everything else becomes noise. Keep going. There is more. And you are capable of more than you've been taught to believe. The danger is not in failure. It is in comfort. It is in settling. It is in becoming so used to just enough that you forget what more even looks like. Comfort whispers that you're doing fine, that you're better off than some, that maybe this is all life has for you. But deep inside, something rebels. Something in your soul knows you were not born to scrape by. You were born to reign, to expand, to master, to create. Financial freedom is not found in just enough. It is found when you decide that your potential deserves to be fully awakened. You must rise above the noise of the world that mocks ambition, the world that calls wealth evil, the world that says you should feel guilty for wanting more. That world is not your guide. That world is not your standard. Listen instead to the voice within you, the voice that dares to dream, the voice that knows there's a higher level of living, a higher expression of self. You were not placed on this earth to blend in. You were placed here to build, to lead, to break chains, to open doors for others. And that begins when you take full ownership of your finances. Ownership means no excuses. Ownership means you stop blaming the government, your job, your upbringing, or your education. Yes, they may have played a role, but freedom begins when you say, I am responsible for what happens next. When you assume full responsibility, you unlock full power. Victims wait, leaders act. And if you want financial freedom, you must stop waiting for change and become the one who creates it. You must understand leverage. The rich do not work harder, they work smarter. They do not trade time for money forever. They build systems, they build assets. They build businesses that earn while they sleep. They invest in people, in platforms, in products that multiply their value. You have the same hours in a day, but what separates you is how you use them. While others scroll, you study. While others spend, you save. While others binge, you build. This is the difference between the trapped and the free. You must become unshakable in the face of rejection. You will be mocked. You will be misunderstood. You will be told you're wasting your time. But remember, the crowd is always wrong. The crowd lives for the weekend. The crowd trades time for money forever. The crowd buys liabilities and calls them assets. You were not called to be average. You were called to break away from the herd and lead, and that leadership begins with financial clarity. Refuse to buy status. Most people spend money to look wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. They wear wealth on their wrist but have debt in their account. They post the illusion online while their reality is silent suffering. You must not play that game. Let your results speak. Let your investments grow in silence. True wealth doesn't need to be flaunted. It shows itself in freedom, in peace, in options. Cut your unnecessary expenses without apology. Cancel what doesn't serve your long-term vision. Downsize if you must. Sacrifice now to secure later. It may look like lack to the outside world, but inside you're building something powerful. The people who laugh now will ask for advice later. Do not waste your time explaining your strategy to those committed to staying broke. Build quietly, build boldly, build for the long run. Study the habits of the wealthy. They read daily, they protect their environment, they write goals, they review their finances, they reflect. They don't just drift through life, they direct it. Wealth is the outcome of intentional habits compounded over time. If you want different results, you must build different rituals, and rituals are built by repetition. Discipline is the seed of destiny. You must also develop the power of patience. Nothing great is built overnight. A tree takes years to bear fruit, but once it does, it produces season after season. Wealth works the same way. At first, your investments will seem small, your returns minimal, your sacrifices heavy. But do not be fooled by the early stages. Stay consistent, and the law of compounding will eventually reward you beyond anything you can imagine. Every great fortune was once invisible. Learn to delay gratification. Train your mind to resist the lure of now for the reward of later. While others chase dopamine through purchases, you will chase purpose through progress. There is no freedom without delay. Every dollar you choose not to spend today is a brick in your foundation of tomorrow's freedom. Every urge you resist strengthens your financial muscles. Every budget you stick to is proof that you are becoming the kind of person who can be trusted with more. Learn to sell. Selling is not manipulation. It is service. The ability to communicate value, to persuade, to negotiate, is one of the highest paid skills on the planet. The financially free are always selling something, a product, a service, a solution, a vision. If you cannot sell, your income is limited. But once you master this skill, there is no ceiling. Make peace with failure. You will lose money. You will make bad decisions. You will trust the wrong person. Learn quickly, adjust constantly, fail forward. Failure is not the enemy. Fear of failure is. The financially free do not avoid loss. they learn to manage it, they assess risk, they diversify, they grow through trial. You will not always win, but you can always grow. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, if you choose to learn, and you must stay alert. Financial literacy is not a one-time lesson. It is a lifelong journey. The rules change, the economy shifts, opportunities evolve, but the principles remain. Live below your means, increase your value, invest wisely, protect your assets, and give generously. These are the pillars of freedom. Ignore them and you will drift, master them and you will rise, build with the end in mind. Picture your future self, 10, 20, 30 years from now. What do you want them to say about the version of you alive today? Will they thank you for your discipline, for your boldness, for your sacrifice? Or will they suffer because you chose comfort over calling? You are building your future with every decision. Make sure it's a future worth living. Remember, wealth is not a number, it is a mindset. You can have millions and still live in fear, or you can have modest means and live in peace. True financial freedom is the ability to live life on your terms, to serve your purpose without the shackles of debt or dependency. It is the capacity to give without guilt, to travel without worry, to retire with dignity, and to leave a legacy with pride. You must train your children in these principles. Do not let the next generation start from scratch. Pass down not just wealth, but wisdom. Teach them the language of money. Show them how to earn, save, invest, and give. Normalize discipline. Celebrate growth. Model responsibility. That is how generational wealth begins, not with a trust fund, but with a transformed mind. Your environment matters more than you think. You cannot grow in a garden of weeds. You must surround yourself with others on the same path. Find mentors, join masterminds, listen to voices that challenge you, that stretch you, that force you to rise. If the people around you are comfortable with mediocrity, you will shrink to fit in. But if they are hungry for greatness, you will be pulled forward by their fire. This journey is not just about dollars. It is about destiny. It is about becoming the kind of person who takes dominion over life. It is about honoring the potential placed within you by God Himself. It is about rejecting the smallness of fear and stepping into the fullness of power. You are not here to survive. You are here to thrive. You are not here to serve money. You are here to make money serve your mission. You must renew your vision daily. Keep it before your eyes. Write it. Speak it, read it aloud each morning. Wealth flows to those with clarity, not vague desires, but vivid intentions. Know the kind of life you want to live, and begin aligning every action with that vision. Let your vision become so clear that your distractions lose their power. The stronger your vision, the weaker your excuses. The financially free protect their time with intensity. They say no more than they say yes. They do not entertain gossip, idleness, or shallow pursuits. Every hour has value. Every day is either pushing the mission forward or pulling it backward. There is no in-between. They live in weeks what others waste in years. While the masses wait for motivation, they act from discipline. They also develop strong internal leadership. They do not need external validation. They do not wait to be told what to do. They command themselves. They move without being motivated. They wake up with mission. They sleep with purpose. This is not just hustle. This is harmony, the integration of soul, mind, and money into one unified direction. The financially free do not merely accumulate. They circulate. They understand the laws of sowing and reaping. What you give multiplies. Whether it's time, money, energy, or wisdom, what you release will return, not always immediately, not always in the form you expect, but return it will. Giving is not loss, it is leverage. It opens spiritual doors that remain locked to the stingy, and they protect their peace as much as they protect their profits. Stress is expensive, chaos is costly, confusion is a thief. They invest in order, in clarity, in systems. They automate what can be automated. delegate what can be delegated, simplify what can be simplified. They know that inner calm is a competitive advantage in a chaotic world. They also respect the seasons. There is a time to hustle and a time to harvest, a time to grind and a time to grow, a time to build and a time to breathe. They don't burn out because they plan. They build rest into their rhythm. They understand that creativity flows best when the soul is rested and the mind is clear. Financial freedom includes freedom from burnout. They live by principle, not pressure. They don't react to every market trend, every fear-filled headline, every flash of economic panic. They are anchored, educated, empowered. While others are tossed by emotion, they remain steady, because their decisions are not based on today. They are based on the legacy they are building. They understand one powerful truth. It is better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So they prepare, they study, they practice, they build quietly. And when the door opens, they walk through fully equipped. Financial freedom is not a destination. It's preparation meeting opportunity. They invest in skills more than things. A car depreciates, a course compounds. A phone goes obsolete, a mindset lasts forever. Every dollar they spend is asked one question: will this make me more valuable? If the answer is no, it's not an investment, it's an expense, and expenses don't build freedom. Skills do. They have mentors, not idols. Mentors who have walked the road, who have paid the price, who live what they teach. They understand that proximity is power, that being around those who think bigger forces them to expand. They do not envy the successful, they learn from them. They do not criticize those ahead. They study their patterns. They embrace simplicity. Complexity is the enemy of execution. They don't chase 100 ideas. They master a few. They keep their finances clean, their plans clear, and their life focused. They are not everywhere doing everything for everyone. They are where they need to be, doing what matters most, with relentless consistency. They honor contracts, show up early, follow through. They don't look for shortcuts. They look for fundamentals. They keep promises to themselves. They don't need motivation to do what must be done. They understand that wealth is a reflection of identity. Who you are will always determine what you earn, what you keep, and what you grow. They read constantly, not just for entertainment, but for elevation. They feed their minds like athletes feed their bodies, carefully, consistently, and with a vision of peak performance. Their bookshelves are filled with wealth wisdom, their journals with insights, their calendars with focused time to implement what they've learned. They don't compare. They measure progress, not popularity. Success is not about beating others. It's about becoming better than yesterday. Comparison breeds envy. Envy robs gratitude. Gratitude is the fuel of joy. And joy makes the journey sustainable. You cannot resent what others have and attract abundance at the same time. Celebrate their win. Focus on your race. They do not fear taxes. They plan for them. They do not avoid insurance. They use it as protection. They do not ignore estate planning. They create it to preserve their legacy. The financially free think long. They understand that real wealth includes what happens when they are gone, that a true legacy outlives the life of the one who built it. They also teach what they know, because teaching solidifies learning. When you can explain wealth simply, it means you have mastered it deeply. They share, they mentor, they coach, not to feel superior, but to multiply impact. What they've gained, they pass on. What they've overcome, they turn into blueprints. They are not perfect, but they are persistent. They fail often, but they never stop. They lose, but they always learn. They get tired, but they never quit. Because financial freedom is not a mood, it is a mission. And missions are fulfilled by men and women who are more committed to purpose than comfort. And while the world waits for a sign, they become one. A sign that freedom is possible, that poverty is not permanent, That wealth is not reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the connected, but for the disciplined, the strategic, the faithful. They are living proof that what you focus on, you find. What you work for, you earn. What you believe in, you become. Because at the end of the day, money doesn't change you. It reveals you. If you're generous with little, you'll be generous with much. If you manage $1, you can manage $10, zeros, euro zero. And if you multiply $10, you can multiply 10,000. Financial freedom is not about more, it's about mastery. Master the little, and the big will follow, and so they rise early. They plan the week. They know their numbers, they lead with value, they invest in truth, they walk with faith, they speak with conviction, they move with strategy, they give with joy, and when the world sees them, it sees not just a rich person, but a rare one. A leader, a steward, a legacy builder, because in the end, wealth is not what you have. It's what you leave, not what you earn, but what you enable. It's the lives touched, the futures changed, the ceilings shattered. And every dollar earned with integrity, intention, and intelligence becomes a brick in the house of freedom, a house that others will walk into and say, "Someone paid the price to make this possible," and you are that someone. They understand that wealth is not a destination, but a journey of continuous growth. Each step taken is a testament to their commitment to financial independence. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. By investing in their skills, expanding their knowledge, and building meaningful relationships, they lay the foundation for lasting prosperity. They recognize that true financial freedom comes from aligning their actions with their values. They don't chase money for its own sake, but see it as a tool to achieve their life's purpose. This alignment ensures that their pursuit of wealth is both fulfilling and sustainable. They are not deterred by setbacks. Instead, they view challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Each obstacle overcome strengthens their resolve and brings them closer to their goals. They understand that resilience is a key component of financial success. They prioritize their health and well-being, knowing that a sound mind and body are essential for making wise financial decisions. They maintain balance in their lives, ensuring that their pursuit of wealth does not come at the expense of their personal relationships or inner peace. They give back to their communities, understanding that generosity enriches both the giver and the recipient. By sharing their resources and knowledge, they contribute to the betterment of society and inspire others to pursue their own paths to financial freedom. They stay informed about economic trends and adapt their strategies accordingly. They are proactive in managing their finances, regularly reviewing their budgets, investments, and financial plans to ensure they remain on track. They cultivate a mindset of abundance, believing that there is enough wealth and opportunity for everyone. This perspective allows them to collaborate with others, share ideas, and build networks that support mutual growth. They set clear, achievable goals and break them down into actionable steps. By maintaining focus and discipline, they steadily progress toward their vision of financial independence. They embrace innovation and are open to new ideas and technologies that can enhance their financial strategies. They are lifelong learners, continually seeking ways to improve and stay ahead in an ever-changing economic landscape. They practice gratitude, recognizing and appreciating the progress they have made and the resources they have. This attitude fosters contentment and motivates them to continue striving for greater financial security. They mentor others, sharing their experiences and insights to help guide those on similar journeys. By doing so, they reinforce their own knowledge and contribute to a culture of financial empowerment. They remain humble, acknowledging that there is always more to learn and room for improvement. This humility keeps them grounded and receptive to feedback and new perspectives. They celebrate their successes, no matter how small, understanding that each milestone is a step closer to their ultimate goal. These celebrations serve as motivation to continue their pursuit of financial freedom. They maintain a long-term perspective, focusing on sustainable growth rather than short-term gains. This approach ensures that their wealth endures and supports their desired lifestyle for years to come. They build multiple streams of income, diversifying their earnings to reduce risk and increase financial stability. This diversification provides a safety net and opens up new opportunities for wealth accumulation. They stay organized, keeping meticulous records of their financial activities. This organization allows them to make informed decisions and quickly identify areas for improvement. They invest in assets that appreciate over time, such as real estate, stocks, and businesses. These investments generate passive income and contribute to their overall financial growth. They avoid unnecessary debt, understanding that liabilities can hinder their progress. When they do take on debt, it's strategic and aligned with their financial goals. They remain adaptable, ready to pivot their strategies in response to changing circumstances. This flexibility ensures they can navigate economic fluctuations and continue moving forward. They surround themselves with like-minded individuals who support and challenge them. This network provides encouragement, accountability, and a wealth of shared knowledge. They practice self-discipline, resisting impulsive spending and staying committed to their financial plans. This discipline is a cornerstone of their success. They seek professional advice when needed, recognizing the value of expert guidance in complex financial matters. This collaboration enhances their decision-making and safeguards their wealth. They stay true to their vision, keeping their ultimate goals in sight and letting them guide their daily actions. This clarity of purpose drives their persistence and determination. They embrace continuous improvement, always looking for ways to enhance their financial strategies and personal development. This commitment to growth ensures they remain on the path to financial freedom. They understand that financial freedom is not just about money, but about the freedom to live life on their terms. This holistic view motivates them to build a life that is both prosperous and meaningful. They take responsibility for their financial future, refusing to blame external factors for their circumstances. This ownership empowers them to take control and effect positive change. They maintain a positive attitude, believing in their ability to achieve financial independence. This optimism fuels their perseverance and attracts opportunities. They educate themselves about financial literacy, understanding the principles of budgeting, investing, and wealth management. This knowledge is the foundation of their financial success. They set boundaries, protecting their time and resources from distractions and unnecessary obligations. This focus allows them to dedicate their energy to their financial goals. They practice patience, recognizing that building wealth takes time and consistent effort. This patience prevents them from making hasty decisions that could jeopardize their progress. They stay motivated by regularly revisiting their reasons for pursuing financial freedom. This connection to their why keeps them inspired and committed. They celebrate the journey, finding joy in the process of building wealth and the personal growth that accompanies it. This enjoyment makes the pursuit of financial freedom a fulfilling endeavor. They remain vigilant, regularly assessing their financial health and making adjustments as needed. This proactive approach ensures they stay on course toward their objectives. They foster a mindset of continuous learning, staying curious and open to new information that can enhance their financial strategies. They recognize the importance of giving themselves grace, understanding that setbacks are part of the journey and using them as learning experiences. They maintain a balance between ambition and contentment, striving for growth while appreciating their current achievements. They leverage their strengths, focusing on areas where they can excel and create the most value. They stay grounded in their values, ensuring that their pursuit of wealth aligns with their personal ethics and principles. They embrace change, viewing it as an opportunity for growth and innovation rather than a threat. They cultivate resilience, developing the mental and emotional fortitude to overcome challenges and stay the course. They practice mindfulness, staying present and making intentional decisions that support their financial well-being. They build a legacy, aiming to create lasting impact through their financial success and the positive influence they have on others. They remain committed to their vision, continually taking steps toward their goals and adjusting their strategies as needed to achieve financial freedom,